Hi, I'm here to talk to you about my rebuttal on why Guantanamo Bay should be closed. And me and my debate partner have been going back and forth about why it should be closed, why it shouldn't be closed. And I just want to retouch base on some things and kind of clear any confusion up. One of the first things we talked about was the money that goes into keeping these facilities running well, like keeping the prisoners healthy in such terms, making sure that the staff is well taken care of. This all boils down to over 290 million a year. That is one of the most expensive things that we spend on in America today. And that's just alone in upgrades. Now, as I talked about before, moving these prisoners to max security systems in America. The cost of that for a prisoner to be held and the prisoners is about $60,000 a year. That is less than triple of what we are spending today for Guantanamo Bay to stay open. Now, one of the huge things my debate partner talked about was, well, is it safe to let them in our country? Is it safe to have them around our people and stuff? And I think that for now, it is no longer a center to hold terrorists in a sense, and how big of a security process it was when the 9/11 attacks happened. Most of the people in Guantanamo Bay are held there for nonviolent crimes. Now, out of the 100 detainees that are left at Guantanamo Bay, 36 of them have already been approved to leave the Guantanamo Bay and be moved into prisons around America or to find somewhere in a different country. Now, we also talked about the safety of these detainees and kind of like the human rights and extremists that he quoted. Now, he says that extremists were just talking about the topics themselves, that it was just being over analyzed, that you shouldn't just look at one or a few people or half of them getting harassed. It's okay, it's all right, let's just throw it under the rug. But unfortunately, that isn't how human rights work. We shouldn't ever look at something and just shake it under the rug. This creates conflict for countries. If people other countries see their people being held in our prisons and being sexually harassed, being tortured and stuff, that then builds a conflict between us and whatever country we are holding their people. Now, in our own prisons today, we are against torture. We are against a lot of countries. We're even against not countries, but states. We are against the death penalty. Any type of torture stuff has been now illegal in a lot of states and nationwide. The overpopulation is not an issue. We have more people working there than we actually do have detainees. Another thing my opponent suggested is what about if we let them go back to their countries? Now keep in mind, the people that we let back to go in their countries are usually people that have been misidentified, have been confused to be someone else and be someone completely different. So I think for us to release them back into their own country shows that we are willing to kind of, in a sense, start to move forward in becoming a better country and a better individual. Another big thing we talked about was what would we do with the naval base once it's gone, like once Guantanamo Bay. He then suggested that it would be more expensive to keep it as a naval base than it was to keep as a detaining center. For many, the naval base is really just a suggestion that I gave on what we can do with the facility, because we do have an unemployment rate that is a huge problem in our country still today, that also is on top of the debt that we hold. that was just a suggestion, not something that our government has actually looked into. I just wanted to clear that up. I want to go back to the waterboarding and the people and the detainees that are there. There have been today over 70 who have been wrongfully accused of something. I think we need to press the restart button on Guantanamo Bay with human rights stuff. No one should ever be thrown under saying it's okay to be harassed. It's okay that we waterboarded you when it was illegal. It's okay that we mocked you. It's okay that we mocked your religion and stuff. We should take a step back and reevaluate these problems, because we would never want to do it in our own prisons and have it become national-wide news. A huge thing that they've changed also is he talked about the closure of all the centers and everything. We should definitely reevaluate everything that we put into Guantanamo Bay and how it affects our country and how it affects our relationships with other countries. And that is all.